Hey, Mike, you grew up. You grew up in a bad area when it comes to competitiveness. When you got two teams. So growing up in Northeast Ohio, and I was around the Cavaliers. This is pre-LeBron. Okay, this is even pre-Mark Price and Ron Harper and Brad Daugherty. I'm talking about way back in the day when they're like second or best player was like Jeff Houston. Look him up. They're excited to have Dinner Bell, Mel Turpin, and Roy Henson. And my dog World Be Free with the mess my shot up totally. But anyway, I had two teams. I followed the Cavaliers, but my second team, because the Cavaliers sucked, my second team was Philadelphia. So I've been watching Philadelphia for a long time and following the Sixers, rooted for Doc and Moses and Andrew Toney. Look, man, I've seen a lot of Philadelphia teams, including AI. I haven't seen anything like this. I haven't seen a guy like this carry a team the way he's carrying a team. Now, you can say what you want, Mike. Say what you want about Philadelphia going forward. I don't know when James Harden's going to finally, bless us with his presence. I don't know. Maybe we'll see him in March or April. I don't know. Well, we'll see James Harden. But in the meantime, in between time, they ain't got nothing. They really, no disrespect. Tobias Harris, Maxey.
That was pretty disrespectful.
Okay, all right. Let me say it another way. They've got one star on the team. They got one star. They got some nice players, one star. And they have no business being in the position that they're in right now. No Ben Simmons all year. The guy they traded Simmons and bench depth with Seth Curry and a backup big and Drummond, they're all gone. So they've had no Simmons. They trade him for a guy who's not there. And Joel Embiid has been carrying this team all season long. Really, based on their roster talent, they should be whatever Charlotte's record is. Like Charlotte's like right around 500, under 500. That's who Philadelphia should be. And they're not there because of Joel Embiid. And you can talk about anything else and everybody else in the league. This is what an MVP does. You show up, you do your job, I'm going to give you a chance to win the game. And they did it again last night, and he did it again last night against the Milwaukee Bucks and a two-time MVP, Giannis.
Allow me to pick a few nits there. But that's,
Go ahead.
That's
pick away.
Great setup for some larger conversations, but a couple of things. So you were specifically talking about in Sixers history, since you've been watching the Sixers.
Right.
You said that you've never seen one guy carry the Sixers like this?
One guy. Right.
That team that AI took to the finals?
He's doing it. Okay, how about this?
That's
like this.
That, for instance?
This.
Style of play?
Like this.
What do you mean?
Because
they're different players. So what do you mean when you say like this?
But Joel Embiid is playing at a higher level in 2022 than AI was when they went to the finals in 2000. Look it up. Do your little analytics thing. Do analytics.
What are you basing that on then?
Do war. I'm basing it on analytics.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know we were doing that now. Okay, so you actually researched
and
looked up statistics, which you typically scoff at, and you find that Embiid's statistics are superior to Allen Iverson's.
It's just math.
Oh, okay.
It's just math.
But you think statistically speaking, might that have something to do with the different players? I mean, what statistics in particular jumped out to you?
How about player efficiency rating? How about the win share? How about the win shares that he's bringing to Philadelphia? How about a complete game? And I got to tell you,
what a role reversal!
What do you mean role reversal? What do you mean? What you mean?
Like it. 6 minutes into the show, that's the most I've ever heard you reference statistics. I'm impressed.
That's ridiculous.
And Ringo's proud of you.
I'm offended. I'm offended by that. I don't just come up here. You think I just come in and go, like Kanye.
More or less.
I just come in here. That's what you think? That's what you think this is about?
More or less.
Okay, no. No, I got something. I got facts to back me up. But seriously, Joel Embiid is, if you look at whether it's the eye test or if you are statistically based or if you just look at everything, who he has around him, what they're asking him to do, his place in the league, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it like this, this consistently. And that's saying a lot because Allen Iverson did play great in 2000. And he did get his team to the finals and get him a victory, one victory. But
one iconic moment. Can't forget that.
Yeah. We're still talking about it. You got a little TikTok commercial out of it as well. But you said the other day, Mike, that we got to wait on deciding the MVP. And I'm not going to say he has the award right now. But I haven't seen Joel Embiid play this well for this long. And he's one of the best players in the NBA. He's one of the 5-10 best players in the NBA. And I haven't seen him like this. And obviously, that's why I said no lies told off the top when he said, I don't want to stop, because he knows he hasn't been in a stretch like this. I thought it was interesting. Remember earlier this year, he said, Kevin Durant, he looked at Kevin Durant, it was funny. He said, Kevin Durant's the only guy in the league I look at and I think is better than me. So I was like, okay, you on one right now, Joel. But really, he's at that level. He can shoot, he can board, he can pass. He's carrying his team. What are you looking at? You looking up numbers? Do your research before.
I do, but then you come with some incorrect stuff that I gotta correct. I have to do more on the spot because I gotta now correct you. But all jokes aside, the most fascinating thing when I just want to refresh my memory, and it's just basic counting stats. We don't have to go all analytics. It's just basic counting stats on 2000-2001 Allen Iverson, who led the league in scoring at 31.1 points per game that year, as well as led the league in steals per game at 2.5 steals per game. So that's not even the thing that really just jumps out. What jumps out is that he played 42 minutes a game.
That's unbelievable.
Efficiency was never Iverson's thing. We know that.
Okay. Right.
But as a matter of fact, I'm just going to rattle off his minutes per game from 98-99 to 07-08. This is just for shits and gigs.
It was different, but it was different though.
41-5.
It was a different league for everybody.
I know.
It was different.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're just looking at it now versus then. I mean, it's insane. 41.5, 40.8, 42, 43.7, 42.5, 42.5, 42.3, 43.1, 42.5, 41.8. That's just how much he gave and got out of that body, that little bitty body of his. He led the league in minutes per game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. He led the league in minutes per game. I just want to put some respect on Allen Iverson's name. I also think you should put more respect on the names around Joel Embiid. And at the risk of disrespecting...
Where was the disrespect of Allen Iverson? Okay, I can't even front.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm not saying you disrespected Allen Iverson. I just decided to just take this as an opportunity to...
You know why
you kind of did, but it was under the guise of celebrating Joel Embiid. I take it from somebody who tends to go too far from time to time. You just took it a step too far. In praising Joel Embiid, you kind of minimized what Iverson did in 2000, 2001. But I know you meant no. It wasn't intentional. Was it intentional?
No, it wasn't intentional.
Okay.
You know why?
Why was it?
Why? Because I used to see him. I was covering the league. I used to see him up close. And let me just say, everybody's got their own taste in music, in clothes, in ball players, whatever it is. He was never my guy.
That explains a lot then.
I was never on AI like that. I was never on him like that. That explains a lot then. So, what do you mean? Hold on.
That explains why you would be so dismissive of his season. If he was never your guy, if he was never your proverbial cup of tea, then that explains why you would say, oh, I've never seen anybody do anything like this or do it this way.
Right.
When they obviously have completely different styles. They have completely different styles of play. Again, efficiency was never Iverson's hallmark. But moving on from an Iverson versus Embiid,
we will. But I'll just say this.
Devolve into that. Okay, go ahead.
That's okay. But just for context, Philadelphia then did the opposite of what Philadelphia is doing now. So general manager now and the head coach now says, we got to bring more people in to support Joel Embiid. Back then, Larry Brown was saying, we got to just clear the floor and we got to get all the scorers off the floor so AI can really do his thing. So that's why he averages 31, because he had Eric Snow and George Lynch.
Okay,
and
here we go. Eric Snow, Theo Ratliff, Mutombo.
Yeah. Okay, that was intentional.
Aaron McKee.
All intentional.
George Lynch, you mentioned him. Tyrone Hill, Matt Geiger, Raja Bell. Bruh, you're not going to, with all due respect to that finals team that Iverson dragged to the finals, you are not going to tell me that this group this year is worse, this surrounding cast. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where you're coming from with this. So now we're arguing about something we shouldn't be arguing about. You're underrating Joel Embiid's supporting cast, which is separate and apart from whether or not the Sixers would be what they are or would be where they are if not for Joel Embiid's MVP caliber season. We'll get to that once we put a bow on this. But he's got a better supporting cast, whether it's George Nang, whether it's Tobias Harris.
You think he's got a better supporting cast now?
Then Iverson did, yeah. Yes. And when Harden comes back, he certainly will. They traded away Seth Curry. They traded away Andre Drummond. I would take the team that he has now, that Embiid has around him, than the team that Iverson had around him. Maybe that's me being nostalgic. Maybe that's me worshiping at the Allen Iverson altar. But
I think so.
If nothing else, there's a middle ground. You crapping on this team this year.
Is Dikembe in the Hall of Fame? Okay,
yes.
Because Tobias Harris ain't going. he ain't going to be there. I don't think so.
Okay, well,
and some other guys won't be there either. But anyway, go ahead. Keep going. Go ahead. I don't want to derail you.
Well, I mean, you just can't come in. Next time, give me a heads up. You go come in slandering Allen Iverson and discrediting one of the best individual seasons we've ever seen, taking that Sixers team to an NBA Finals. That I wasn't. I did not prepare for. I prepared for a lot of things. That I was not prepared for.
Since you got AI's numbers up there, tell me the number that's under 43% that he shot from the field that year. It's probably under 43.
I just said efficiency was not his hallmark.
I'm just wondering what it is. I know. I'm not trying to.
What did he shoot from the field that year?
What did he shoot from the field? I just want to visualize. He did get to the rim a lot, so maybe it was higher than 40.
Well, you know we ain't got no research, and now you got me sitting up here. Golly, man. I don't get
you already had it. No. Hey, listen. I thought you had the numbers up there, right? Hey, I ain't trying to mess you up. I ain't trying to throw you off.
No, this mission already accomplished. I mean, they were 56 and 26 that year.
Yeah.
Per game, Iverson.
Good season.
Field goal percentage. He shot 42% from the field that year. Shot 42%.
Yeah.
The second leading scorer, just FYI, the second leading scorer on that team was Theo Ratliff at 12.4 points per game. Mutombo that year averaged 11.7 points and 12.4 rebounds. Aaron McKee averaged 11. Tyrone Hill averaged 9.6. Eric Snow averaged 9.8.
But here's the problem.
All right.
That ain't an indictment. That's not an indictment of them. That's an indictment of him. Because that's what the coach said.
You know what? On a Friday, I'm not going to even entertain your Allen Iverson disrespect.
Okay, go ahead.
To your point about Joel Embiid, it sounds like you love, because it's funny, I was going to ask you to be philosophical on this Friday. Mm-hmm. I think it might have been an Inside the NBA clip I saw where Kenny may have said something to the effect of DeRozan's the best player in the world, and it triggered Shaq. Shaq was like, wait, what? He's not the best player in the world? Because they were talking about the MVP ballot. And we talked yesterday about how we can't help ourselves from discussing the MVP a week into the season, and then it becomes this race that we're trying to call, before they even come down the stretch. And somebody's now forced to catch up with somebody that we've already determined long ago that it was his MVP to lose. So they were arguing, and they got off into an argument about best player in the world. So in a minute, I want you to get philosophical. I want us to get philosophical about separating MVP from who's the best player in the world. Because that award and that title oftentimes aren't the same things. And one of them is tangible. The other one is very much intangible and a fluid conversation. Okay, but as far as MVP goes, it sounds like. Sorry, could you say? Sorry, it sounds like you like the narrative around Joel Embiid. It sounds like you are buying into his story, and the reason I'm focusing on the narrative is because you could pick and choose everybody's numbers. If we're truly talking analytics, nothing's changed from the last time we took stock of the MVP race. It's still Nikola Jokic, okay?
Yep.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is right there. You can make an argument for either of those guys as well as Embiid. And after what Embiid did last night, and by the way, last night's 42-point, 14 rebound, 5 assist game was his 9th 40-point, 10 rebound game of the season, Michael. The only players with more such games in a season this century, so in the last 20 years, Russell Westbrook in 2016-17 had 12, and James Harden in 2018-19 had 10. So Embiid will probably, if he stays healthy and keeps performing like this, will probably have more 40-point, 10 rebound games in a season than anybody this century. All right? So, but my point is, and even DeMar DeRozan, whose team is tied for the top of the Eastern Conference lead. With the numbers he's put up, especially over the last 7 games, one could make an argument for him as well. I thought you made an excellent point yesterday that somebody has got to represent the Phoenix Suns in the MVP ballot. And I realized, and I don't think we did, that we were remiss for not mentioning Luka Doncic.
Chris Paul.
I don't think we.
No.
Yeah, I already said somebody from Phoenix. Did we bring up Luka yesterday? Okay.
Yeah, we brought up Luka.
I don't remember if we did. Okay. So point is.
Yeah, I think it was the day before.
It's a crowded race. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. But from what to focus this conversation a little bit more, based on your opening salvo about Joel Embiid, it sounds like, at least for you as we head into the All-Star break, it's his award to lose the rest of the season.
I don't want to go that far. But see, look, I think if I had to vote on it today, sure. But I never really want to.
You have to.
But I don't. But see, and that's sad. Because if you mess with some people like that, you mess with the wrong kind of people. You know, and people say, gun to my head? Okay, like, well, how do we take it there? We just talking about hoops. All of a sudden, the gun's at your head. Like, why is it that severe? I never want to get so stuck in an argument or so attached to a player, especially in February, that if information changes in the next week, the next 3 weeks, then I said, no, I got my guy. If I had to pick a guy right now, it would be between Embiid, who I would have given it to last year had he not been hurt. Embiid would have been my MVP last year, even over Jokic. I know the season he had, all that stuff, historic, great, big man, best passing big man in the game, yada, yada. If Embiid had stayed healthy last year, Embiid's my MVP in 2020-21. Call it right now, I'd say either Embiid.
So are you making up for last year? Not making up. No, I'm not saying he would have won it last year. Would he have? I mean, maybe on your ballot.
MVP. That's what you're asking.
Okay.
You're asking me about my ballot, right?
All right. No, I guess I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm deducing.
But
I'm inferring. I'm not suggesting that you're implying, but I'm inferring that, this old Jokic thing, it's like, it almost feels like you're not really buying Jokic as MVP. Like you have retroactive voter fatigue. Like you don't if he hadn't gotten hurt, he would have been my MVP.
With this generation.
As if Jokic didn't deserve it. Like, okay, as if that's Jokic's
with the world.
Then give him the MVP anyway, even if he does get hurt. It's your ballot, right? So this year, you come into this year, and it's almost like you want to give it to Embiid. And that's okay.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.